History remembers battles, kings, and revolutions, but sometimes it forgets what it was told to forget. On a cold October morning in 1307, a secret order, powerful, wealthy, and loyal to no king, vanished in a single coordinated strike. It wasn't a war, it was a betrayal, and it was signed not with swords, but with silence, torture, and fire. This is the story of the fall of the Knights Templar, of the curse whispered in flame, and the dynasty that died with it. You're watching Hidden in History, where the shadows still speak. They began with 9 men and 1 mission: to protect pilgrims journeying to the Holy Land. But what started as a humble religious order soon became one of the most powerful networks in Europe. The Knights Templar, warriors, monks, and bankers. They built fortresses across continents, held vaults of gold, and issued letters of credit that allowed a man to travel from London to Jerusalem without carrying a single coin. They answered to no king, only to the Pope. And by the 13th century, they were landowners, lenders, and legends. But power without protection is a tempting target, especially when kings are desperate. King Philip IV of France, known as Philip the Fair, a ruler whose face was calm and whose hands were ruthless. His wars had drained his treasury. He owed the Templars a fortune, but Philip was not a man who liked to owe. He had already defied the Pope once, even engineered the election of a French Pope, Clement V, and moved the seat of the church to Avignon. But the Templars, they were still beyond his reach, until he found a way. Philip began to spread whispers, dark rumors, that the Templars worshipped idols, spat on the cross, practiced obscene rituals in secret chambers, and behind locked doors, he made a plan. October 13th, 1307, a Friday. Across France, sealed orders were opened at dawn. Arrest all Templars, seize all assets. No warning, no trial. Men who had fought and bled in the Holy Land were dragged from their beds, beaten, shackled, interrogated, confess or suffer. And so they confessed to anything, everything, to survive the rack, to escape the flame, to make it stop. But one man did not bend easily. Jacques de Molay, the 23rd and final Grand Master of the Knights Templar. He had served the Church, advised kings, fought in the Crusades. Now he was bound in a filthy cell, tortured, humiliated, and forced to sign a confession. But in 1314, after 7 years of imprisonment, Philip demanded final closure. De Molay and another high-ranking Templar were to be executed in Paris. On the banks of the Seine, they were tied to a wooden pyre. Crowds gathered. The fire was lit. And then spoke. Pope Clement, King Philip, I summon you to God's court within 1 year. Witnesses reported he stared into the flames, unblinking. His voice did not shake. His final breath was not a plea, but a judgment. Within a month, Pope Clement V was dead. Of illness or poison? No one could say. And before the year ended, King Philip IV collapsed during a hunting trip. He died suddenly, violently. Some said his face turned black before he stopped breathing. And his heirs? Philip had 3 sons. All would become kings. None would produce a lasting heir. By 1328, the Capuchin line, which had ruled France for 3 centuries, was extinguished. And yet, some say the Templars knew that a fleet of ships slipped away from the port of La Rochelle the night before the arrests. That Templar gold and knowledge vanished into legend. In Portugal, they were quietly absorbed into a new order, the Knights of Christ. In Scotland, their symbols appear carved into stone. In Switzerland, banking systems resemble theirs. And in books, conspiracies, even games. Their name never really died. Because you can kill men, you can burn parchment, but you cannot erase a mystery once it begins to breathe. So were the Templars guilty? Or were they too powerful, too rich, and too independent for a king who answered to no one? Did the Molay curse the men who betrayed him? Or was it history, poetic and cruel, that made it look that way? We may never know. But here's what remains. The Templars were not destroyed by battle. They fell to paper, to fear, to silence. Their name became legend, their end a warning. But sometimes the most dangerous enemy is a man who needs your gold more than your loyalty. And sometimes justice doesn't come in life, it comes in fire. This has been hidden in history, where the shadows still speak. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe the channel. This will help us to create more videos.